Howdy, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Hope y'all doing okay. So, I got to tell you a hilarious story about my mom. Mom has a side hustle. She is doing very minimal senior care for somebody. Helping with diabetes, feeding, a little bit of light cleaning, things like that. Just pops over for maybe an hour. She's out of the house maybe an hour a day doing this. She goes over, does breakfast. They're fairly close to us. Goes over, does breakfast, comes back home, does whatever she wants to do, goes over and does dinner, and typically she just fixes enough that she can take over whatever we had. All this is just paid in cash due to the way that the guy wants to pay. He doesn't want to write a check every time. So he just gets cash for whatever. Well, something interesting happened. So she doesn't deposit all that cash in the bank. She keeps a little bit of rainy day money out in case something happens and we just need cash for whatever. And she said we as in we. I've never gone into it. I know exactly where this is. And it's one of the things, like, I'm not going to give it away, but like, okay, so it's in a ground coffee container tucked behind this, and it's inside a little Ziploc bag, and that buried under the whatever. So it's like tucked away, and you'd have to know exactly what you're looking for to find it. Where it gets funny, she's like, some money of mine came up missing. Really? That's weird. Did you wash it in your pants pockets? Maybe the kids got it and didn't know what it was. Well, they haven't bought anything, and my kids get allowance, so they haven't spent any amount of money that was outside the norm. Well, does anybody else know where it is? She goes, well, this family member does. And they know that if I tell them to get into it, they can get into it. I'm like, well, did they get into it? I'm like, oh. She's like, oh, no, I don't even want to think about that. That's terrible. And so we start, well, no one could have broke in and found it because they would have torn half the room apart before they would have found that and found other stuff that was, worthwhile. So we just keep scratching our head. And I think, did you just forget to put it over there? And I'm like, we're trying to retrace her steps. Did she put it someplace else and forget about it? What happened here? So she, I said, so retrace your steps out of the, you didn't get it out and forget it. She's like, no, I didn't keep a little ledger for it. Hey, this date I put this much in, this date I took this much out, whatever. So I'm like, well, okay, so he gives you the money, you come home, yeah. What did you do next? She goes, oh my gosh, I'm such a moron. What happened? I forgot that I wanted to go do something with so-and-so, and I didn't want to run my debit card, and so I just took the cash. And it was just funny that, you had kind of forgot what you did, and it literally took 3 adults' brain power to figure out where this money went. And like, I'm shooting in the dark. I'm like, well, did she spend it and forget? Did she wash it? Is it hanging up in her closet in a pair of pants? What's the deal here? So anyway, she got a little emotional because she got suspicious of a family member. And I'm just glad that we figured out where it went. But it was just one of them kind of funny stories, that a little thing, and she's like, I'm not, the money doesn't matter. If I burned it, it doesn't matter. It's just, I want to know what happened so I don't have it happen again. And it turns out it was all just a innocent, honest mistake. So I thought that was kind of a interesting story, and for some reason worthwhile sharing. Folks, that's what I got. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch y'all next time.